What if we did a show that wasn't fake at all? What if it was just you and me talking to each other? The way we actually do. What do you say?
Sure.
No.
But you mean we don't introduce ourselves or anything? Like,
Maybe
know?
not.
Like, we don't say, like, we are doing another Independent shoot video.
Yeah. So we won't say that. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So what we are doing is we're going to be asking each other questions. We each prepared a few questions for each other. And we're going to try something new on Independent Sheep. And the first question you wanted to ask me.
What do you think about the world?
Now, before I answer that, can you tell me what you were thinking about when you asked me that? Like, what were you thinking about when you asked me that, and why?
Well, I was thinking that, what do you think about other people? What do you think about other countries? And what do you think about Tokyo, New York, London, America, Seattle?
That's a very broad question. And one of the things about asking questions is you have to get to where you have a specific question that you know what, because I could say anything about the world. And what I will say is that, I think that the hardest thing that people have to deal with is other people. I think isn't that the biggest challenge if you go to school?
Yes. Like, last year when I was still a first grader, for 2 months, I had this little bully. And, well, he moved away. So, I'm kind of sad to see him go. Well, we're kind of making friends, but he was bullying me a lot since first grade.
In some ways, being a kid is actually more difficult because kids in school are really not very nice. Sometimes adults also aren't very nice, but they do a better job hiding that. But I can tell you that one of the biggest challenges in your life, in anybody's life, is going to be how to deal with other people and other countries, other nationalities, other traditions. And what do I think about it? My advice is not to think about it. My advice is just to accept people and love people for how they are.
That's exactly how I do it.
Yeah.
So next question.
I'll ask a question. Okay.
Okay.
What superpower would you like to have and why?
Well, I would like to have a superpower of flying, because I think flying is awesome. You could see loads of views, and they are actually some kids who have superpowers like that, actually. Like, they can play basketball, like, as little babies.
You think so, really? Is that real?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yes, I think so.
What would you do if you could
possible.
fly?
Well, I would probably beat you at basketball.
Well, that's for sure. Would you do anything important?
Well, when I'm sometimes bored at night, I always, when I can't sleep, I play, Once, like this episode of Once, with me in it. And I'm the villain, and some kind of good guy falls in love with me, or something like that.
Okay.
And if I would be able to fly, then it would be way easier to be, to be more fun. Like, if I would fly, I would, I would just, or the second superpower I would want to be
What else?
is being invisible.
Yeah, I thought you would say that, because you're always talking about being invisible.
Because I always wanted invisible ink when I was little.
And what would you do with that power?
I would haunt your house.
You'd be able to go wherever you want to. And see and hear whatever you want to.
Without you knowing. I'd eat all of the chocolates in my chocolate box. Secretly.
Okay, so I have... you have a question for me now. Okay, we'll go back to me. Second question.
Do you like peace more than... what? Oh, do you like peace more than the opinions you have?
That's a really... You didn't... And I have to say, you actually wrote these questions by yourself, didn't you? I didn't tell you these questions. Before we started recording, we just each wrote down some questions. And that's a very insightful question. I don't know whether you understand how brilliant that actually is. Do you understand why that's so brilliant?
Why?
Can you tell me why you think it's brilliant?
I think it's brilliant because you don't know how to answer it.
I know exactly how to answer it. Do I value peace more than my opinions? Absolutely. Because our opinions
are just
our mind
opinions.
activity, our minds don't really matter. Our minds are what causes problems. So when you learn to identify with an opinion, which means I am my opinion, I believe in this political thing, or I am a basketball player and I think we all should play more sports. Whatever opinions you have about things, that is actually the opposite of peace, because rather than actually caring about other people, rather about being nice to people and loving other people, you end up trying to get your opinion out to other people. And that sometimes causes conflict, which is, in other words, what is conflict the opposite of? Peace.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, it's a really interesting question, to let go of your opinions. Can you think of an example at school maybe, or with a friend that you had an opinion?
Well, I had an opinion.
Did it cause a problem?
Well, not not really actually. I sometimes before I was like all ego. I was like, oh my gosh, that person has that, and I want.
I gotta get this person to change,
get
right? Yeah.
this person to change, to not like his toys anymore, so I could get it.
But then you let go of some of those opinions.
Yeah, I just let go. Like, you know what? The teacher will get me anyway, so what's the point?
Just let it be, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I boss people around, but I just want the best, you know. I just, last week I tried that my class was fighting with second A. Mm-hmm. We're second B still. And I am 8 years old. But anyway,
what happened? You were fighting?
Well, I was the only one who wasn't fighting, and another person who understood peace wasn't fighting as well. So he said, "Hey, come over here. Can you get them to calm down a little bit?" Mm-hmm. So I said, I tried to yell at them a little bit because
Did it work? Does it work when you yell at people?
No.
Does it? Because you can't get someone to calm down. You can't yell at them to make them understand. They don't understand, do they?
No.
So the best is not to interfere.
Actually, my friend said shut up.
Yeah, and then you felt bad about your friend, didn't you?
Yeah.
So before, there was nothing against you, but you came in and you tried to stop something, and then you got attacked because you were trying to do something, and then you felt bad about that friend. So that's a good example of how opinions and action is against peace. It's really interesting. Okay, now I have a question for you.
Yes?
If we could go, you and I, our family, if we could go on any kind of a trip, travel anywhere, do anything, anywhere in the world, whatever, what would it be?
That's a really difficult question.
Well, just an example.
It would be Italy.
Anywhere?
Anywhere. I would be... I'm a big traveler, so yeah. I would say Greece and Italy and America, because we always go to America in summer.
Yeah, okay. What would you like to do in Italy?
In Italy? Well, I have been to Italy before, when I was like 5, mm-hmm. and I think it was really fun. It was super fun, mm-hmm. and we had pizza, pepperoni, pasta, mm-hmm. and we stayed there for a week.
What's the best thing about traveling? What do you like about traveling?
What I like about traveling is you get to see other stuff and other languages people speak and people cook, and you can taste other food and see if you like it. Yeah.
One time when we were in France, we were on the beach, and you were trying to get kids to play with you. You were like 3 or 4 years old, and you didn't know how to ask kids if they want to play with you because they spoke only French, and you wanted to learn French because you wanted to learn how to ask kids to play with you. Do you remember how to say in French? Would you play with
not
you?
Really.
You did learn it back then, but we forgot
really.
it.
I forgot. Oh, I don't go to French class anymore. I didn't want to.
Okay.
Mom is pushing me.
Okay, so Mom's pushing. Okay, so you have a question for me now. The last question for me.
No, I actually have 2 more.
Okay, maybe 2 more.
Do you have any thoughts right now?
Right now?
Yeah, do you have any thoughts?
No.
Sometimes.
I was just listening to what you were saying. I was fully aware of what you were saying, ready to respond. But do I have any thoughts? Sometimes, yes, of course. Thoughts can be used. Thoughts are very useful when you're trying to do something. You're trying to solve some problem, or trying to work, or trying to create something. But
sometimes things go a little bit wrong, don't they?
sometimes your own thoughts are your worst enemy. You start to say to yourself, that person, how dare they do that to me? And they'll probably do it again to me next week. And before they do that, I better say something. I better do something. And then you just imagine the whole thing in your head again. And you cause the whole thing in your own mind. So the best thing to do is just to let your mind be still. And then when you need to use your thoughts, then you use them.
Usually I sometimes use my thoughts like to just say, oh, well, what if we could do this after we do that, for example?
Yeah.
Like, what if we could, after we play the game Pie Face, I don't know what we're going to do next.
But sometimes you do this, Isabella, where sometimes we're doing something, and you're thinking about the next thing we're going to do.
Yeah.
And so then you don't really enjoy what we're doing now, right?
Yeah. That's a little bit of a problem.
It's not really a problem, but it seems like you don't enjoy things as much when we do that, because then you're not really enjoying, like, first, let's do this, but promise next we're going to do that, and then that, and then that, and then you just get kind of nervous and stressed out a little bit, right? Okay. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I don't think it matters, though.
Okay, so my last question for you. You just turned 8 years old. How have you changed in the past year or two? How do you think you've changed?
Not much, actually. I'm still pretty much the same. It's just I'm not that excited when we're doing stuff anymore.
Really? What do you mean?
I meant, like, remember when you asked me that, what happened to the old yay? And
yay! Ice cream! Yay!
Well, I am excited. It's just I wasn't. Last week I had different plans. But
what kind of plans?
Like to remember to play Pie Face.
Yeah. But it's okay to have plans and do things. But
I know.
But so you think you've changed in the way that you're not as excited?
We went to McDonald's ice cream in the winter, which is now is the winter, and now.
We went swimming and then for ice cream, didn't we?
Swimming and ice cream.
And Mom would never approve of that, would she?
Swimming was actually pretty hard, and
But anyway, so you've changed. You think you've become less excited about things. You said, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. A little bit.
Well, maybe you just need to have new things to be excited about. You know?
I don't think that I'm most excited.
What are you most excited about these days?
Well, most excited. Well, I like tests very much.
You like tests?
I like tests.
At school?
Yeah, at school. Like when they give you some kind of fun option, like this plus this equals that. It's kind of a little bit fun. Like
it's a challenge.
It's a little challenge.
You like to do well on tests.
With your pencil.
Interesting. So you like competitions and things like that.
A little bit.
Okay.
But
do you have one more question for me? Or do you want anything else you want to say about that?
This question is a little bit funny.
Okay.
Do you like cheese?
I love cheese. I'm from Wisconsin. I like cheese.
Me too. Yesterday we tasted stinky cheese.
Yeah, I bought some
like
Italian stinky cheese, and I had to put it outside of the balcony because it was kind of stinky and didn't really make any sense to eat. But we like cheese.
Because it didn't taste at all.
Of course we like cheese. Who doesn't like cheese?
Yum, LOL.
Okay, so next time, on the next show, we might try something where we let you guys ask us questions and we answer questions from the audience. Right, that'd be kind of cool, huh?
Yeah. Do you have one more question for me?
Yeah, just what do you think of this new idea for the show? It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it was pretty cool. Just so you know, I didn't have this idea. I'm usually the one who is creating stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, we'll create some stuff again. We'll do some more drawings and some music and things like that. But I think this could be interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thanks you for watching this show, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.